Thank you so much. And I would like to say good morning, everyone, once again. It's my great pleasure to be here this morning to discuss the critical role of artificial intelligence in digital transformation of businesses. But I would like to start by saying, appreciating the Nigeria-South Africa Chamber of Commerce for putting this event together at this critical and crucial time. The Nigeria-South Africa corridor is a dynamic and fast-growing economic region with immense potential for innovation and growth. But however, to harness the potential that it has, it is imperative and it is essential that organizations and policy makers understand how they can leverage AI to drive digital transformation in their organizations. In the course of the presentation, I'll be taking you through artificial intelligence, the use of AI in our daily lives, digital transformation, what it means, key areas where artificial intelligence drives digital transformation, implementation strategies for AI challenges and mitigations, case studies, industry and arrival, success metrics for AI adoption, future trends in AI and digital transformation, and we would have a recap. Jeff Bezos stated that there is no alternative to digital transformation. Visionary companies will carve out new strategic options for themselves. Those that don't adapt will fail. I'd like us to look at 3 words here. No alternative. It simply means no option. You don't have a choice about digital transformation, leveraging on AI. Secondly, he said strategic options for visionary companies, which means forward-looking companies that are looking to the future. They're going to carve out, they're going to be the first movers. They're going to enjoy first mover advantage, carving out strategic options by, jumping on board. Then he said those that don't adapt will fail. He didn't say they'll be stagnant. He said they will fail. Simply means they will stop to exist. They will decline. They'll stop to exist. We have several examples of companies that didn't transform and they failed, like Kodak and a lot of them out there. But back to the business of the day. What is artificial intelligence? Simply put, because there are a lot of things people think, when they hear artificial intelligence. So for some people, it's scary. Maybe this thing that is going to take our jobs, this thing that is going to replace human beings and all of that. But artificial intelligence is simply algorithms that are written for computer systems to behave as if they are human. They imitate the human intelligence. So they are configured by humans. They are written by humans, and they are algorithms written by humans. And artificial intelligence embodies a lot of AI technologies. So when they say artificial intelligence, there are different technologies that make up AI. So AI on its own embodies a lot of things underneath. So I'll just mention a few. We have natural language processing. It's a tool in artificial language. So depending on the kind of business you run and the kind of AI deployment you want, you may be using natural language processing. We have the machine learning. It's also a tool in artificial intelligence. Depending on your need, you may be deploying machine learning. We have deep learning. Deep learning is a subfield of machine learning also. So depending on your needs, you may be using that. Then we have computer vision also. That's a tool under artificial intelligence. I've heard people say when they talk of artificial intelligence, they think about robots, maybe, moving around and doing a couple of things. Artificial intelligence goes beyond robots. It's not really robots, and we use it daily, but it's just that we don't even understand that we are using it. So just look at some examples. Facebook. When you use Facebook and Facebook suggests friends. Oh, this could be your friend. Do you want, it's the algorithm, it's the AI algorithm working underneath. When you watch Netflix, after watching a movie, maybe a classical movie, it begins to suggest other classical movies for you. That's AI working underneath. You also have Google, and you also have YouTube, where you watch a movie and there's suggestions and all that. Those are all AI's technology working. Okay, so go straight to digital transformation, but we're trying to say what is the role of AI in digital transformation. So what is digital transformation? It's just integrating digital technologies into every sector of our organization. So you're integrating digital technology into all aspects of your organization, such as your products, services, and operations to deliver value to customers. So that's what digital transformation is. And to add, for AIs are taught to learn. They are taught to reason. You can teach AI to self-correct. You can teach AI to predict and make decisions. All of that are all programming by human beings. So I would like us to look at a case of digital transformation. We use Netflix. Netflix transited from DVD rental to streaming services, live streaming services, leveraging on AI. They were able to personalize content, recommendations, and also improve user engagement. But let's look at the process they went through. The first thing is in 2020, they spent $17 billion on content worldwide, which means with the content that they needed to, people to watch, they needed people to watch, to also manage the content and redevelop it using AI tools. That's the whooping sum that was spent. So we know that AI can be expensive. It's not something that we buy off the shelf, but you can start where you are at. So this amount shouldn't scare anyone. Everyone doesn't need to spend $17 billion. So, but that was in 2022. In 2023, Netflix generated $33.3 billion in revenue, making a 6.6 increase year on year, just after investing on AI in 2022. In 2024, Netflix has over 260 million active viewers, and we know how much they charge monthly. So you can imagine where you have 260 million active viewers monthly. Right now, video streaming sector as a whole is valued at $544 billion, and Netflix market share is 25% of that. But there is a projection that by 2020, that market will be 1.9 trillion. And you can imagine if Netflix keeps a hold of 25% of 1.9 million, that's almost like $500 billion just by including AI in their business operations. So let's look at key areas where AI drives digital transformation. In data analytics, that's one area where it drives digital. So you can use AI for big data processing, like Google Analytics uses AI to give insights to businesses on customer preference and on performance of websites. So Google can let you know what your website is doing, how many people are visiting your website, what they click when they come to your website. All of that is AI. And for predictive analysis, Amazon uses AI for predictive analysis. So Amazon is able to say, due to customer demand, the way customers have been buying stuff, my inventory, I need to stock up on this particular inventory. So they use AI for inventory management, and they're able to stock up so they don't have, so they have stock when customers need them. The other area where you can deploy AI It's in customer service. So sometimes you have contact centers or customer service centers where you have drop calls, a lot of calls coming, they're not being picked, or the calls are overwhelming. That's a good place to, deploy an AI technology, and chatbots or virtual assistants can do that. In fact, there is Sephora, and what Sephora does, it's a chatbot, but it's used to recommend skincare to women. So it would take a picture of you, and it can tell from your shade what kind, what shade of powder you should use, all of that is done using AI. And also for personalization, we know some of us use Spotify for music. So when you use Spotify, it could ask you, what are your preferences? What kind of music? You say jazz. After then, it just keeps throwing up jazz artists to you and all that. That is AI working in that field. We can also use AI for operational efficiency, and we can use that in automation and process optimization. So if you're able to automate your processes and able to optimize your processes, your operational your operations will be efficient. So for automation, we look at robotic process automation, usually used in the financial sector for data entry and loan processing. So it's able to look at loan application and tell whether this person should be given a loan or not. That's AI driving that. And for process optimization, most manufacturing companies use preventive maintenance app, that is driven by AI. So it's able to predict when there will be an equipment failure and when your equipment need maintenance, so to prevent any downtime. Then for innovation and product development, you can also use AI. For R&D acceleration, AI is currently used by pharmaceutical companies to predict the efficacy of compounds. So when they want to produce medicines, it's easy for them to know, if we use sulfur and combine it with sodium chloride, it's going to work better than, other combinations. So AI is used for predicting efficiency of drug compounds. And it's also used for new business model. That was what was used by Uber for ride share, because they used AI for price optimization and route optimization. So they were able to come up with a big new business model, which is ride share. So people can share rides depending on where they were going and also save costs. Implementation strategies for AI in digital transformation. So how can we implement? There could be businesses here that really want to implement this in their organization. There are key areas that you must consider if you want to implement AI. The first is assessment and planning. For assessment and planning, you need to look at your current state. So you need to analyze your current state. Where are we right now? What are the existing systems and what are their capabilities? You need to know that before you begin to plan. So you need to define your goal, define the KPIs and roadmap for integrating AI into the business strategy. So for instance, if you're a customer service company and you want to implement AI, you would need to think, okay, which areas? Is it in the drop calls? Do I want my customers to be able to, when they call in, they don't have to wait for too long, before they get a response and all that. You need to write out what you want to achieve. And that is where I'm saying you need to have goals. Then the KPI, you need to say, okay, right now we have 50% drop calls, but after implementation of AI, I want to see just 2% drop calls. So you need to have all of those metrics lined out. Secondly, technology selection. So AI tools and platform. I'd mentioned that there were several technologies under AI. So you need to know which technology is appropriate for what you want to do. If it's you want to deploy a fraud solution, AI for fraud, you will need machine learning because it uses data to learn, predict trends. So it sees how the transaction goes. Any day it sees anything that is abnormal, it will now throw up a notification, or it will tag it that this is abnormal because it has learned the process. And if what you want is maybe an AI that can read images, you will need computer vision, the technology under computer vision, because it's able to read images and videos. So depending on what your business needs, you need to select the right technology and also select the right vendor. Because if you have the right technology and you don't have the right vendor, it's going to be a disaster because it doesn't understand how and what to look out for and how to implement the AI in such a way that it becomes efficient, for you and adds value to the business. Skill development. You will need to develop skills in-house. So even if a vendor is deploying for you, you need to upskill your staff, maybe by having workshops, training programs, and you could also hire as well knowledgeable people to join your team. They could also come in under contract because sometimes, they could be expensive, but they can come in under contract for 6 months, for 1 year, and by the time they leave, your staff will be able to manage the process that has been put in place. Then data management. Artificial intelligence depends wholly on data because you cannot do anything without data. It learns data. So you must ensure that you have high quality collection of data so that the algorithm would learn what it needs to learn. Then data security and privacy. While implementing, we need to be sure that we're safeguarding information and we are complying with all regulations with respect to data handling. The fifth is pilot program. So you want to implement AI. You don't just implement AI on the organization as a whole. You start in, small scale and find out if this AI I've implemented, is it visible? Have I seen the value? So when you see the value and it's something that is feasible, then you can, begin to scale out to the other departments. Next, there are challenges and mitigations. There's no way that you run a new technology, you won't encounter challenges. So what are the likely challenges? There could be several, but I'll just mention 4 challenges. The data challenge. So while implementing AI, you could encounter data challenge in quality and accessibility of data and privacy concern. So if the data you're giving the AI to learn is unstructured, is dirty, is not clean, it's garbage in, garbage out. Maybe something that should be called red, the AI will now call it white. So you must ensure that you have the right kind of data and that your data are not stored in silos. Because for AI to work efficiently, it needs a pool of data. So if you have data in silos, what you need to do is implement a data lake or a central repository system where all the data are pooled to one spot so that the AI can learn from that pool. Then the privacy concern I mentioned earlier, you must be sure that during data analysis while implementing AI, that your data is anonymized so that critical customer data or personal data, they're not put out there. The second concern, organizational challenge. People will be resistant to change and skill gap. I mentioned skill gap earlier. For resistance to change, you could implement change process before you even start the deployment. While deploying and post deployment, you ensure that your people are carried along so they're not afraid that whatever you're going to deploy is going to take their job, so they try to sabotage it. So you need to carry them along using change management process. And for the skill gap, training, seminars, workshop, and hiring could mitigate that challenge. For technical challenges, you could have integration issues or scalability. So for integration issues, you could have AI is a new technology where you already have a technology running in your organization and the AI may not be able to integrate to that legacy platform. So what do? You need APIs and middleware. So whatever AIs have been built for you, you would need a middleware and API to integrate both legacy and the artificial intelligence solution you're just deploying. For scalability, you have to also ensure that the AI you're deploying is scalable. If you deploy AI on-premise, that on-premise means in your organization, probably maybe you have a data center, you have servers, you deploy it on-premise. If your data begins to grow or your customers begin to grow, you may not be able to scale. Even if you want to scale, you need to buy servers. You have supply chain issues. You need to call the vendor that deployed it, maybe to come and do some other work to prepare the other servers for you to scale and all that. That could be an issue. So when you're deploying AI, the best way is to leverage on cloud-based AI services. So it's easy for you to scale whenever you want to scale. Even if your data grows, you have no issues with it. The fourth challenge is ethical and regulatory. So we have to be sure that the AIs that are being deployed for you are free or biased, because whatever an AI does is what it has been programmed to do. We have had instances of where AIs discriminate against women. So maybe it's a facial recognition AI, you stand before it, it will say it will throw up error. And meanwhile, you're a human being and it's throwing up error that it cannot recognize you because of the bias that it has. Sometimes AIs have been known to throw up errors due to skin tone. If a light-skinned person stands there, maybe a Caucasian, it will, work. But if a dark-skinned person stands before it, it just throws up error. So you have to be sure that whatever AI is being implemented in the organization is free of bias. And how can you do that? You have to audit the AI solution. So even after it's been deployed, you have to do several tests to be sure that whoever programmed that AI did not program whatever bias he has into the AI. Then compliance. We have to be sure that whatever we're doing, we comply to the GDPR and HIPAA of the country you are deploying, and also all legal regulatory framework. For case studies, for health, I'll just mention a few, there are lots. For health, we have Google DeepMind that is used for early detection of eye disease. We have IBM Watson that is used by oncologists to treat cancer patients. So it's able to personalize treatment. Even if two people have breast cancer, they may not need the same treatment. So IBM Watson is able to personalize that cancer treatment to the person, that needs it. That's using artificial technology in that case. For finance, we have a Coin. Coin is a contract intelligence. It reviews contracts and is able to extract important data points. And this, when it was deployed, saved about 360,000 manual work hours when it was deployed. For retail, we've talked about Amazon. Walmart also uses AI to optimize supply chain operations and inventory management, reducing overstock or out of stock issues. For automobile, we know of Tesla and self-driving cars. For manufacturing, we have Siemens AI enhanced automation. So it helps to reduce downtime, predict maintenance in manufacturing process. For entertainment, we've mentioned Netflix and what Netflix did. We can't conclude this without talking about Aravo's success in AI. Aravo has deployed AI technologies in retail, but due to privacy concerns, we'll not be mentioning the names of the organization. But the challenge of the client, it was a big retail company, and they had issues with overstock situation leading to increased operational costs. So after the deployment of AI algorithm, we were able to improve accuracy in stock levels, and we're also able to make positive impact in the financial revenue of the organization. They had 20% reduction in inventory carrying costs and 15% increase in sales due to improved product availability. The next sector where Aravo has deployed AI is healthcare, and that had to do with a hospital. And when we're done deploying, what we deployed was an AI predictive analysis solution. And the outcome was improved patient care, operational efficiency, in fact, 25% of improvement in resource utilization, and the financial impact was significant. We've also done one for a manufacturing company, and the outcome was reduced downtime. In fact, they had like 30% decrease in unplanned downtime, and improved product, 20% reduction in maintenance costs. So when you deploy AI in your organization, how do you know that the AI that you deployed is successful? We'll look at 4 key metrics. Operational efficiency gain. So you measure improvement in productivity and cost saving, pre and post process, and pre and post deployment. So before deployment and after deployment, how was the productivity? What were your cost saving? And how is the process efficiency? Then customer satisfaction is another way to measure if the AI deployment has been successful. So you can track enhancements in customer experience, satisfaction scores, and retention rates. Are they coming back? The reviews great? Those are the metrics you can use. Innovation rates. You've deployed AI. What is your turnout of products and services? Because AI make things faster. We know how it is. When you want to write a book before, you take weeks, months to write a book. Right now, you have what sort of AI tools that can help you churn out books in like 2 minutes. So what is your innovation rate? You need to measure that before and after deployment. Then decision-making speed. So AI working on workflows, it should be easy for you to make decisions. So the track time to make key decisions should reduce after AI deployment. So what are the future trends in AI and digital transformation? We'll look at 2 trends, emerging technology and evolving business model. So for emerging technology, we have the Edge AI. Edge AI is a new technology that is upcoming. And what Edge AI does is you deploy AI at the source. You deploy AI at the source of data generation. Usually what happens is when you deploy AI, you would now need to have a pool where the AI can read the data from and all that, which means you could have sensors in different places extracting data and throwing them all into the pool. But with Edge AI, you deploy AI at the source. So you're deploying the AI where the equipment is. So the AI does not need to go to any pool to look for data. It takes data and processes data right at the source. That's Edge AI technology. Then we have AI and Internet of Things. So we know about smart homes. You come into your home, the lights come on. Right now, you can be in the office and switch on the light, the fridge, television in your house. That is possible through AI and IoT integration. For evolving business model, we have AI as a service. So instead of spending a huge sum to deploy AI, you can take AI as a service, leveraging on OEMs that provide it, like IBM, Microsoft. Some of them have AI as a service. So, and it's flexible and it's scalable. You can just pick what you want, pay as you go. That's a new business model. And hyper-personalization, that's using AI for advanced personalization in marketing, customers, and product offering. So in the course of the presentation, we've been able to define AI and digital transformation in simple terms, use of AI in our daily lives, key areas where AI drive digital transformation, implementation strategies for AI, AI challenges and mitigation, case studies. We also looked at the success metrics for AI and future trends. In conclusion, I'd like to say that overall, the integration of AI into digital transformation initiatives can drive significant benefits for organizations, from increased revenue to enhanced decision making. As technology continues to evolve, the role of AI in digital transformation will continue to be crucial and critical and important for businesses that want to remain relevant and want to be innovative and want to be competitive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, let's celebrate her one more time. Eunice King. I know a lot more than I did about AI before I got into this hall this morning. And I have an assurance that the way she's delivered it, it was so, student friendly. Because, sometimes when you want to talk about technical things, you're worried. It might just be done above your head. But she was able to come down to our level. And I definitely learned a lot. And I'm more receptive to AI. So we're going to take 4 questions so that we can quickly manage this before we go for breakfast.
Bukumi Olaniyan is my name, Senior Manager in KPMG. Thank you so much for very insightful presentation. So I'll get straight into my question. So, and I guess because of the way it's portrayed, when you look at this, even this flyer, when you think of AI, the bots, and I remember watching a movie called iRobots, it's iRobots, where robots were going to take over the world and all that. So there's that. I think there needs to be a lot more education around AI. People often think it's about robots moving around and doing stuff that human beings should be doing, but it's much beyond that. So thanks for that. So I would like us to localize it a bit in terms of the Nigerian context and also maybe the wider Africa because of the context that we're speaking here today. What do you think in terms of the future, the immediate future? How would AI accelerate? There's the issue of regulation, which also needs to be looked at closely. There's the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, because we also need to be very careful how they use AI. AI could also be dangerous. Could land people in a pot of soup. Some people will go and use AI for essays, and then it gets them into trouble. People will use AI to write a job application, and it could actually be problematic. So how do you think that would shape out in the future, and what is the role of regulation? And if you could also share in terms of the practical experiences when you were implementing, what are some of the bottlenecks you actually faced within our context within Nigeria? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. So just like with any new technology, there needs to be regulation. And I know that there have been a lot of outcry, that the way the AI is being deployed and the way it's being programmed, can be destructive for the world, not just maybe, for Nigeria and all that. And a lot of talks have been going on about it. AI needs to be regulated. I can't say right now that it's regulated. I don't think there's any framework right now. A lot of people are developing all sorts. In fact, every 24 hours, you see new things being done by new technologies being developed for AIs. So it needs to be regulated. There's no regulation for AI right now. That's something that needs to be done. So for experiences that we've had while deployment, some of them I've mentioned. Most times you have legacy issues. You're deploying in a place where they already have something that is working, and you're bringing this AI technology, that is new technology, to a place where it's like 99% manual. And you don't want to disrupt. In a manufacturing place, you don't want to disrupt what they're doing. You need to make the AI work even within the context of what is being done. So that is where the API, the middleware that you need to, but it's dependent on the business that you're dealing with, because the way you deal with manufacturing, even two manufacturing organizations will not have the same issues. You could have one that would be, okay, their technology is at par with what you want to deploy, but there's a lot of resistance because you need the people. AI is going to leverage the knowledge that people have doing this work manually, because doing it manually is the process that you're going to program into the algorithm to say, this is the way we want it done. This guy does it manually. It takes 7 hours to get it done. AI do the same thing, but take 2 seconds to get it done.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Orinari Hosfall from Aluko and Oyebode. I like a comment you made on regulations and how it's going to work. I'm also interested in seeing how the Nigerian government is going to regulate the sort of entities that provide AI services, particularly how they collect their information. Being a lawyer, I got concerned about something you had mentioned. You said JP Morgan Chase, they have this contract intelligence coin, AI that reviews contracts very quickly and sort of saves time, I guess, for the organization. A concern I've heard quite often is that AI is going to take jobs. People are going to be made redundant because it's automated some processes and made it incredibly quick to run through. In terms of practical applications, for example, from a government perspective, where do you expect to see AI implemented in Nigeria?
AI implementation would cut across all facets, whether the government institutions, and we know what the government institutions are like. So if we decide to deploy AI, it's going to, people say they will lose their jobs, but it's not really losing your job. It's just freeing up human resource to think more strategically. Because most people, what they do is routine and it's mundane, the same thing, carrying the files. And if you implement AI in a government institution, what happens is you have to free the people to now think. There are other things that could be done. The other things we're not doing because we're busy carrying the paper and carrying files. Repetitive tasks should not be done by human beings because we have brain capacity for more. But how do we do more when we're busy doing mundane? So there's no limit to where AI can be implemented, even in this country. But we know what our issues are. We need the infrastructure to be in place, and some other basic things, to get it to work.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so thank you so much for the lovely presentation. It's very insightful. You mentioned that these algorithms are created by humans, meaning that we teach it, we tell it what to do, and it's able to do it. So I'm asking, can AI successfully take out human interference in business process optimization? Because we hear that the world is going global, is going digital. So meaning that with time, we will not need some human repetitive tasks anymore. So I'm asking, based on trajectory and based on your experience and exposure, do you think that it will get to a time where AI can successfully take out human interference in business process optimization? Thank you.
Okay, yes, so for business process optimization, will it come a time where AI, I can't say there will not be a time. It's possible. Because when you teach AI, they'll learn and they can improve on what you have taught them. That's why it's possible for them to learn. It's possible for them to self-correct. Yes, it's possible for them to self-correct and all that. So it could come a time, it's possible, but it could be in the really, really far. And for third world countries, we're still way behind, So I don't want your fears to be realized.